Okay, so good morning. What we're going to do today is we're going to start off lying down, and I'd like you to have your block and your ball handy. They're always optional. The ball is to help, and well, they're both to help. They're both to help. We're going to do some Hatha yoga, but with a bit of side lying, a bit of breathing, and some releasing, so strengthening and releasing into the side line of the body and including the hips as well. So what I'd like to do is to start off just softly lying down on your backs. So just roll yourself down, drop the head down, bending the knees, and then just take a really big inhale. So you're semi-supine, take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, just let things relax. They may not be fully relaxed, so then you do it again. So you take an inhale, and then as you exhale, breathe out through the mouth and just let things soften. Again, so do it about 5 times, inhaling in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Just feel the body softening. 2 more, inhaling. And then exhaling out through the mouth. Let the body drop down. Again, inhaling. Exhale out through the mouth. Let's just do 1 more. Take a big inhale. And then exhale out through the mouth. And just keep the body now in that exhaled out state of complete relaxation. Let the feet creep out really wide and then drop the knees over to the left. So a little bit of a stretch in the abdomen, quite a big stretch in the right thigh. Not pushing anything down, just let things drop. And then engaging into the core, lift the knees up and then take the knees over to the right, please. Again, seeing how this feels, you're checking out what's going on in the left side. How does that feel on the left side of the hip, into the waist perhaps, into the thigh. And then lift the knees up, go again over to the left. So lengthening in the lower back, draw the tummy in. And then inhaling, knees up, exhaling, the knees over to the right. And then come back up to the middle, taking the feet hip distance apart. Settle the shoulders as well. And just don't do anything for a moment, just settle the body. Complete symmetry, hands resting on the abdomen, fingers spread across the abdomen so that when you inhale you can feel the belly rising. Slightly arch your back, feel the stretch across the abdomen, and then as you exhale, flatten the back, squeeze the tummy, and then deliberately draw the ribs towards your hips as you suck the tummy in. And then go again, so you're inhaling, arching, tilting the pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, you flatten, send the tailbone long, and actually deliberately ribs to hips. Again, inhaling, arching the back, tilting the pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, you flatten the back, draw the tummy in, squeezing there. Again, breathing in to tilt the pelvis forward, arching your back. And then exhaling, flattening the back, ribs to hips. Just do it once more. So it's just settling into the back. Inhale to arch. Get the back moving. Exhale to flatten and curl, ribs to hips. And then settle the back down on the floor, just for a moment. Now what I'd like to do is a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Is it a tilt? No, it's not. It's a sideways movement. So if you have your fingertips on your hip bones or on the sides of the front of the hips, and then keep your right side super relaxed as you lift the left side up. It's not a big movement, You're just twisting and then release down, and then lift your right hip up, keeping the left side down. So it's very much like if you imagine that the pelvis is a boat and the boat is rocking from side to side. So going over towards the right, lifting the left, and then go across to the left, lift the right hip. Again, a couple of times, nice smooth transition. So going over towards the right hip is down, the left hip is up, and then across, the left hip is down and the right hip is up. One more, just like that. So turning, twisting the pelvis to the right, going across, twisting the pelvis to the left, and then come back into a nice neutral spine position. Then what I'd like to do is we're going to do the last plane of movement, which is lengthening the hips. So again, you're not doing it with any lifting, you're just going to slide your right hip long as you let your left hip go short. So it's like you're turning your hips like a handlebar on a bicycle, and then you're going to steer to the right. So let the left hip go long and the right hip go short. And just noticing how that feels. Again, steer to the left. So the left side is short, the right side is long, and then steer to the right. One more time. Steer the pelvis, the hips to the left. Come back through the center and then steer to the right. Just noticing that shortening on the right side. And then release back into the center, please. Take the arms out to the side, starting with the feet together. So palms facing out, arms super relaxed. Feet together. Just start to keep the feet stacked as you take the knees over to the left. And then come back up into the middle. And then take the knees over to the right, but stacking the feet. Again, coming up. And then going over to the left. Stacked feet. Coming up and over, so the feet are like glue, they feel like they're glued together, and then take the knees to the right. Now either continue to do that, come back into the center, or bring the knees in towards the chest, and then take the knees over to the left, letting them release all the way down towards the floor if you can. Engage into the core, lift the knees up and take the knees up and over to the right. Lift the knees up, take the knees over to the left. Lift the knees up and take the knees over to the right. And then come back into the middle, please. Knees in towards the chest and just hug there for a moment, rocking from side to side. Good, come back into the middle and then take the feet down to the floor. And just settle the back for a moment. Again, just always noticing how you feel. If we take the hands behind the head, it's going to do a little bit more arch and flatten with the head raised to strengthen the core. So hands behind the head, let the elbows go wide, tilt the pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, you flatten the back, lift the head and the shoulders up and look towards your thighs. Lower yourself slowly down, inhaling, arching, and then exhaling, flattening the back and lifting. Just do it once more. Inhale to arch, tilting the pelvis forward, and then exhale to flatten and lift, looking towards your thighs. Lower down, inhale to arch. This time you're going to hold the lift. So you're lifting up and then take your left arm forward and do a side bend, but with the shoulders as high up as you can, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come back into the middle and lower yourself down. Arch your back and then lift up again. Lift the head and the shoulders up as high as you can. Support that with the left hand, the head, and then reach your right fingertips forward, drawing the tummy in, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back into the middle, supporting the head, and then slowly release the head down. Just release the head down, holding there. Now we're going to do a couple of goes on the diagonal as well. So what I'd like to do is arch your back, and then as you exhale, lift, twist to the left, bringing your left knee in, just to lightly touch the knee. Now don't worry if you can't touch the elbow to the knee. You're just trying. Lower the head, the shoulders down, arch your back, and then again, lifting, twisting right, and then lower down. Inhale to arch, exhale, lift up, twist your upper body to the left, bring your left knee in to touch your right elbow, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Again, arch your back, and then lifting up and twisting to the left, bring your right knee to touch your left elbow, lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. This one you're going to hold, so you arch your back, lifting up, twist to the left. Now press, if you can connect, don't worry, you're just going to try and connect, but if you can connect, please press your elbow, your right elbow into your left knee. Keep pressing for another 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and then lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Arch your back, lifting up, twist to the right, and then left elbow and right knee connect if possible, pressing them together for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Let's do it once more. So you arch your back, again lifting up, twist to the left. Try, if you can't touch, doesn't matter, but try and touch. If you can touch, press them together for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and then lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Again, arch your back, lifting up, twisting to the right, elbow and knee are ideally connecting and pressing together for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and then lower the foot, the head and the shoulders down. Wave your knees from side to side just to soothe and settle. And then what I'd like you to do is to take the hands away from the head. You're going to need to find your block. Hopefully your block is a little bit more conveniently located than mine. And then the block is optional, but what I'd like to do is to lie down on your back, either have the back of the pelvis flat on the floor or have the back of the pelvis on a yoga brick. And it can be on a flat setting. Now if you're fairly confident in having the block underneath you, you could be bold. You could have it on the second height. I would not recommend going on the highest setting. It's too unstable. So I'm going to go on the second setting just so it makes it a bit more easy to see what I'm doing anyway. And then what I'd like you to do is to creep your feet long. So you just keep them on the floor, just creep them away from the body until the legs start to straighten. So you have to move quite slowly, particularly if you're on a slightly higher setting. But now just let the body stretch. So you're in a slight banana shape, opening up the front side of the body. Now to make it stronger, take the arms up above the head and then hold on to the elbows. That will make it a little bit stronger. So keep tucking the tailbone, engaging into the core. Let the feet go a little bit wider. So a little bit wider because we're going to do a side bend in a moment. So the pelvis is on the block. Your arms are up above the head. And then what I'd like you to do is go for if you've got a tight left side, which I know some of you have, can you take, let's all do it like that. We're going to take the right foot over towards the left. Just slide it over towards the left. And then move the head and the shoulders over towards the left as well. And then try and relax into this twist. So if you feel like you're moving your pelvis over towards the right, that will keep your right hip grounded. Engaging, keep the core strong as well. And then if you slide your right foot back, take the head and the shoulders up to the center, and then slide your left leg over towards the left, and then move the head and the shoulders over, so move your left foot over to the right, and then move your head and your shoulders over towards the right as well. Pelvis remains on the block. Feel as if you're trying to lift your right hip up. It's not really lifting, but you're trying to keep that left side grounded. Breathing into it. And then if you move your left foot back, and then the head and shoulders back into the center, release the hands from behind the head. So again, you don't need to be up on the block necessarily. Bring your right knee in towards the chest. Hug it in towards the chest, stretching the left hip flexor a little bit more intensely. Holding there. So try and get a feeling of lengthening into that left leg. Stretching the left leg away, and then try the other leg. So left knee comes in, right leg goes long, and then you're pushing away your right leg. It's all nice and nice and easy, accessible stuff. And then let your left foot go to the floor and the right foot go to the floor. Lift up off the block and just move it out of the way. And then lower your back slowly down to the floor. Just give yourself a moment to settle. Bring the knees in towards the chest, hugging them in, and then rock from side to side. So we're going to come up onto the hands and knees now. So rocking from side to side. Either go onto your side and come onto your hands and knees that way, or come forward and back and come onto your hands and knees that way. So whatever happens, you're on your hands and your knees, right in the middle of your mat. We're going to have the ball handy. I still want to do that side stretch with the ball. So coming onto your hands and knees, push into the hands and then draw the chest forward, engaging into the core. And then as you exhale, tuck the toes around the back, allow the chin to come to the chest. And then inhale, come forward again. Again, exhale, tuck the toes, push into your hands, round the back, allow the chin to come to the chest. And then inhale, come forward again. Good. One more time. Tuck the toes, round the back, chin to the chest. In this shape, move your hips back, stretch the feet. Stretching the feet, so push back. And then what I'd like you to do is you're going to walk your hands in towards your knees. Now, if you can remain in this toe stand position, kneeling with your toes tucked, that's exactly what I'd like you to do. However, I know everyone is not comfortable with that. So you've got options. You can kneel up, keeping the toes tucked, or you could possibly kneel down. So what I'd like you to do is to be in this toe stand position. And just let the hands rest on your thighs. Even if you're up, you let the hands rest on the thighs. The other option you do have, just so that while you're settling, is you could have the block on your heels. And then you sit back on the block, and that takes some of the pressure out of the knee. Doesn't change anything going on in the foot, but it may give you some relief in your knee. Not forever. Coming back. So then what I'd like you to do is to let the arms go up. Let the arms go up, and we're going to do a side bend. So if you now take your right arm down and then reach your left arm across to take a side bend in this position, and then let the arms just change to the other side. Just see how it feels. Coming up, now let the hands in, hold on to your left wrist and then side bend over to the right. Coming up, grab hold of your right wrist and side bend over to the left. Coming up, Now hold on to the elbows. Side bend to the right. Coming up, and then side bend to the left. And come up. Stretch the arms up. And then take the hands forward, so you won't have changed your position, so you will still be now back in cat pose. Once you're back on your hands and your knees, lift the feet up and just shake out the ankles for a moment. And then relax the feet. Moving the hands over to the left, and then find the ball and then place your right hand on the ball. So you're in cat in a side bend. Draw the chest forward, and then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, sit back on the heels, and then roll your right arm forward. So this now, I think we've done it consistently for about 8 weeks, so it should feel really familiar now in your body. Use this stretch to open up your right side, breathing into that right side. And then relax the hand, relax that right hand. Come up, and then walk yourself around to the other way. We're taking the ball with you if you've only got one of the balls. So now your hands are towards the right. Both hands are underneath the shoulders as you draw your chest forward. And then tuck the tailbone and move yourself back into child pose with a side stretch, rolling your left arm forward. And then relax the left arm. Leave the ball where it is as you come up, and then come back onto your hands and knees. Go back into child pose with the feet flat, just for a moment, and rest. And then what I'd like you to do is we're going to come back into cat, or back into the hands and knees. And what I'd like you to do is to move your right foot slightly out to the side, and then extend your left leg coming onto the inside edge of your left foot. Push into your right hand, your right knee, and your left foot. And then take your left arm up into the air. So you're in this sort of modified side plank position. Slowly let your left arm go over past the ear as you lift your side ribs up away from the floor. So try and lean upwards into it and breathe. And then take the arm up into the air and take the hand down to the floor, and then come onto both knees. So repeat it on the other side. So you're on your left knee, move the left foot out to the side. Stack your hips, stack your shoulders, let your right arm go up into the air, and then the right arm will go over past the ear. But try and really lift the ribs. So the top arm is quite relaxed. Lift the side ribs, really stretch that right side line. And then let the arm go up into the air, looking down. Take both hands to the floor, take both knees to the floor. Right leg goes back behind you, and then draw the knee in towards the nose. So rounding the back, curving in, and then take the leg back. Inhale, and then exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose, rounding the back, take the leg back. This time it changes, so you bring the knee in towards the chest, flex your right foot, place the toes next to your left knee, and then lean back. So you walk your hands back a little bit, leaning back, and you're trying to get your foot to relax and the heel to come down, but you don't want the heel fully down. If it's fully down, you've got nowhere to stretch. So you want it hovering, and you've got this flexion, deep flexion in your ankle, in your right ankle. And then coming up and return back onto both knees. So do the same thing again on the other side. So your left leg goes up behind you, inhaling, And then as you exhale, bring the knee in towards the nose and then take the leg back. Again, draw the knee in towards the nose, take the leg back, take the knee in towards the nose, take the leg back. Now bring the knee in towards the nose, flex the foot and then lean back, just releasing your left heel down towards the floor. Just breathing there, so it's sort of trying to relax the foot as you stretch the heel down. And then return both knees to the floor. Take an inhale, hands nice and spread, tuck the toes, push your hips back to float your knees up off the floor and then come up into downward facing dog. Once you're there, just stretching out, alternately bending the knees, so working quite intuitively into your body, just working with what needs stretching. So whether it's the shoulders, the hamstrings, side body, the hips, just move quite fluidly into your body there. Now what I'd like you to do is to step the feet a little bit closer together. Float your right leg up behind, draw the knee in towards the nose just once, knee to the nose, and then take the leg back. Now you're going to draw the knee in towards the nose, lifting your left heel, look forwards and then try and step your right foot forward between the hands. If it doesn't happen, help the foot forward. Lower your left knee as if you're going to touch the floor, but you're not. You're just going to hover it. Gives a really good stretch into that left thigh there. So stretch and then straighten both the legs, folding down over your right leg. So do that one again. So you're going to come forward, lower your left heel as you take the chest forward. So stretch that front line of the body. And then fold down, pyramid pose, fold down over your front leg. Again. Drop that knee, so really feel, go into the stretch. Drop the knee as much as you can, stretching the front of the hip. And then go back into pyramid pose. Pushing into the hands to push yourself back. Both legs as straight as you can. And then slide your right leg back into downward facing dog. Drop down to the knees and just take a moment of rest. So transitioning off the wrists, dropping the head down. So we're going to do that again in a moment, just on the other side. So same thing, really just stretch into that front line of the body. So then we're going to do the same thing again. So it's anterior, posterior rather than rotation or sideline. So come back into downward facing dog again. Lift your left leg up and then draw the knee just once in towards the nose. So we're working on the core still. Take the leg back. Repeat that, but this time you lift up your right heel, look forward, and then try and step your left foot forward as lightly as you can. And then drop your right knee to hover off the floor as you draw your chest forward. And then straighten both the legs and fold down over your left leg. So pyramid pose. Bend the knees. Drop your right knee, drawing the chest forward. And then fold down over your left leg. Both legs are straight. Pyramid. That's it. Good. One more time. Come forward. Drop the knees. It's just like a heavenly stretch on that right side. And then go back to pyramid, both legs straight. Push into your hands more strongly, so then you can lighten your left foot, slide it back, and then lower your heels down, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank and lower yourself down. Now you can drop your knees or you can lower yourself all the way down in one line. And then just relax your head on your arms for a moment. So we're going to work on the diagonal line, but what I was going to do is a little bit more shoulders on that as well today. So if you let your left arm go forward, and then lift the head and the chest up, your right leg and your left arm. And then take your left arm out, stay in the same position, but take your left arm out to the side, turning the palm to face down. And then turn the palm, roll the shoulder forward, turn the palm to face back and then possibly up towards the ceiling. As you bend the elbow, continue, see if you can tap the fingertips to your right shoulder blade in that direction. And then you release the arm, rotating the shoulder, taking the arm forward, and then you relax the whole body down. Let's try again on the other side. So now your right arm is forward. Lift up the head, the chest, and your left leg, and then your right arm. Slowly take the right arm out to the side. Very slowly begin to roll the shoulder forward, bending the elbow. And then see if you can just, the first point of contact is as high up on the left side of the back as possible. And then release the arm, rotating it, take the arm forward, and then relax the head down, moving your hips from side to side. We're going to do it once more, just like that. So your left arm is forward again. Lift up the head, the chest, your right leg, your left arm. Take the left arm slowly out to the side. Be quite mindful about this, rolling the shoulder forward. See if you can tap your right shoulder blade, and then you release the arm, rolling it. Take the arm forward and then drop down. Your right arm is now forward. Lift up the head and the chest, your left leg, your right arm. Start to do that rotation, controlled articular rotation of your right shoulder. You roll it forward. Try and tap the fingertips to the left shoulder blade, and then you roll the arm out and then drop the head down, bending the knees, and move the feet from side to side. And then just relax the body for a moment. I'd like to take the hands underneath the shoulders, so we're ready. And then start to come up into a low cobra. So you're lifting up the head and the chest. And then see if it feels okay, lift the legs up as well. If that's too strong, lower the legs down. And then lower all the way down, just move the hips lightly from side to side. And then relax and do it again. So you're lifting up into your low cobra, and then you lift the legs up as well if that feels okay. So you're in locust pose. And now try and push into your hands, or please push into your hand, and then roll down the legs. So you're coming up into your higher cobra, settling the body there, and then drop yourself down and rest for a moment. So it's transitioning from low cobra to locust to high cobra. So I'd like to do that again. So you're lifting up the into low cobra, maybe lifting up the legs. Take an inhale, so that's locust, pushing into hands, roll yourself up into a higher form of cobra, keeping the legs energized even though they're on the floor. And then lower yourself down. Now what I'd like you to do now is you're going to take your I'm going to change the orders so it's more convenient for me. Take the left knee out to the side, please. So take the left knee out to the side. Just roll that hip, lift the foot to roll the hip forwards. So just try and see if you can get that. You're still down, you're quite low in the chest. But just lift the foot up, roll it onto the front of the thigh, drop it down. Again, lift it and drop it down. And then settle the foot down. Come up into a low cobra now. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, see, you can either stay there or see if you can push yourself up into a higher cobra, but with the legs in this funny shape, in this open hip position. And then lower yourself down. If that felt okay, what I'd like to do is to straighten the leg out to the side, if you've got space. If not, keep it bent. Take an inhale, come up into low cobra, that might be enough. If you can, push into your hands and then lift up there as well, just stretching into your body. And then you lower yourself down again. Close the legs and just relax that left hip for a moment, moving the hips from side to side. So you've got 2 more to do, perhaps. So right knee out to the side, move the foot, lift the foot, roll onto the front of the thigh. So just see how that feels. And then you settle the legs. Take an inhale as you exhale, lift up into low cobra. Either stay in low cobra or push into your hands and come up into a higher cobra. See how that feels. And then you lower yourself down. Now if you've got space, which I haven't, you can extend the leg out to the side. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my knee up a little bit higher to make it harder. Last time, so either with the leg straight or the knee still bent, lift up into low cobra and then lift up into a higher cobra, just opening up the front of the pelvis, opening up the front of the hips. And then you lower yourself down, straightening the legs, relax the arms, and then move the hips from side to side. Good. Resting completely, we're going to go into downward facing dog, and then we're going to do some standing poses after that. So if you take a pause when you feel ready to, come back into child pose. Stretch your back. So just stretching into the back. And then come up into downward facing dog. And then what I'd like you to do is to lift your right leg up. So you're in downward facing dog, lift your right leg up, bring the knee in towards the chest, and then step it not fully forward. You're going to step it about 2/3 of the way forward. So step that foot 2/3 of the way forward. So it's definitely behind your hands. And then what I'd like you to do is to turn your right toes out to the side. So turn the right toes to the right. Taking your right hand onto your right knee. And then what I'd like you to do is to push into your right foot as if you're actually going to lift up that left leg. It's that kind of a feeling. Push into it. So you're leaning forward. Use your body weight. You can arrange your body weight so that most of your body weight is on top of your right leg. Just relax out of that for a moment. And then come onto the outside edge of your left foot if you can. And then again, do the same thing again. Lean into your right foot as if you're going to lift the left leg and the left arm off the floor, but you're not. So you're just trying to get this outer hip to work. Push, push, push down. And then relax out of that. Keep the body in the same position. Take the arm up, the right arm up into the air, and then let it go over past the ear, lifting your ribs up. So it's another variation of a side plank. Take both hands down to the floor, come up onto the left toes, and then stretch your right foot back. So you're back in downward facing dog. And we're going to do the same thing again on the other side. So lifting up the left leg. Step the left foot forward about 2/3 of the way forward, and then turn your left toes out to the side. Your left hand goes onto your left knee, and then what I'd like you to do is just arrange your body so it's just as if you're going to step onto the foot. push your body, arrange your body weight to hover over the left foot, the left leg. If you can't, hopefully you can feel this. You should feel that your outer hip is absolutely working on the left side, working super strongly. And then just adjust the position of your right foot if you can, to come onto the outside edge of your right foot, but continue to lean your body weight forward onto your left foot. And then relax slightly. Take your left arm up into the air. Left arm goes over past the ear. Take both hands down to the floor. Coming onto your right foot. Take the left foot back. And you're back in downward facing dog. Float your right leg up behind, draw the knee in towards the chest. This time step the right foot fully forward and then come up to standing. Taking yourself up to standing, let the arms go up, lifting the chest, and then interlace the hands behind your back, opening up across the front of the chest. Lean forward over the front, or just to the slightly to the inside of your right thigh. So humble warrior, letting the arms go up behind you, but try not to weight load onto the thigh here. You're just trying to keep the core strong. Lifting up, take the arms up again, but now open up to warrior two. Once you're in warrior two, interlace the hands behind your back, open up across the front of the chest, lean forward but on the diagonal. Release the hands forward on the diagonal. So your lower body is doing warrior two, upper body is doing a diagonal downward facing dog shape. Walk the hands to the inside of your right foot. So you're in lizard now. So why aren't we doing a lot of poses today? Sink the hips down, draw the chest forward. And then take your right foot back into downward facing dog. So push it back. And just stretch the legs for a moment. So we're going to do the same thing again on the other side. So you're lifting up the left leg, draw the knee in towards the chest and then step the left foot forward, ground the right heel. Push into both of your feet as you come up, taking the arms up. So the side body, this is using the side body. Interlace the hands behind your back, open up across the chest, stabilize as you go forward. So drawing the chest forward, front, back, sides, everything's working. Pushing into that front foot. And then come up, release the arms up, and then go into warrior two. So this time, warrior two, you interlace the hands behind the back, open up across the front of the chest, and then you lean forward on the diagonal, so towards the right corner of your mat. You should be able to feel this on your hips. Release the hands forward on the diagonal still. So push into your left foot. Just feel that left hip really working again. This is what it's for. You're pushing into your left foot. Then walk your hands to the inside of your left foot and come into lizard, lowering the hips, drawing the chest forward. And then from there, you're going to go back into downward facing dog. Stretch the legs off, alternately bending the knees. All the work is done now. Drop down to the knees and rest in child pose. Then what I'd like you to do is to come up to kneeling and go over onto your right hip, taking your right foot just in front of the left knee. Well done. That's it. So sitting up, if you need to, these balls are really good at just propping. Well, that's not very good. They're propping the right hip So you can just give your right hip a little bit of support to maintain a straight spine as you sit tall. Don't have to, but you might find it's useful. Then you're going to turn towards your right thigh. Walk the hands slightly forward. Tuck the tailbone, engage into your core, and then drop your left forearm down to the floor as you twist your upper body towards the right hand. So you've got this tucking of the tailbone, drawing the tummy in, and a twist. And then coming up, lean back into the hands and then just go straight for the other side. So you can use the strap, you can use the ball underneath your left hip this time. And then once you've got yourself upright, turn towards the left thigh. The hands are there. Walk the hands forward. Tuck the tailbone, engage into the core, and then lower your right forearm down to the floor and twist your upper body towards the left. So your left shoulder should be higher than your right shoulder. And then come back into the middle. Take both feet forward and your knees wide. And then just lean, very slowly lean yourself forward. Give your back a little bit of time as you fold forward. So you're moving the head towards the feet, but it may be that your back needs a little bit more time to release. So maybe rolling the shoulders, just check that the neck is relaxed. And then coming up again. Well done, bring the knees in towards the chest, just hug the knees in for a moment. So we're going to do 2 more seated poses and then we'll be on our backs. Now I'm just going to quickly show you because they're going to link. So I'm just trying to work out which way to do it. I'm going to go it from here. So that we're going to link them. You're going to do Jani Sirsasana first. So let me just, I'll be very quick. So Jani Sirsasana, right knee is bent, and then you fold forward down over the left leg to whatever extent you can. Is this the transition now? You will come up. This is the bit I want to show you. You're going to take your right arm up and back behind you, and then you lift up onto the right knee and the left foot. And you just move your hips forward and you take a super stretch into that left side. So you're just letting this arm, the top arm is just relaxed and you're pushing your hips forward. And then you come back out, so it's gate pose, okay? So, bending your right knee, take the right knee into the inner thigh. Both hands are going to frame the left leg, unless you have a flare up in your sacroiliac joint, in which case I'd like you to take, you're going to fold down between the knees. So you remove the twist out of the pose. So to see how it feels, maybe your right hand is going to go to the right ankle, maybe it's going to the left ankle, the left foot. So folding down, it's called head to knee pose. You're trying to move the head in the direction of the knee. And just breathing there. The other thing, it really stretches the QL, so the side, right side of the back. And then starting to slowly lift up. Let that right hand go back behind you. And then sweeping the left arm forward and across the body as you lift the hips up. Press the hips forward, lean your shoulders back, and just open up. It's like doing a big stretch, a big yawn in the morning. And then slowly release out of that. Bring your right knee in towards the chest, take it across the left leg, and then seated twist. So turn towards your right knee, lifting the chest up, grow tall, and then look over your shoulder. And then come back into the middle. Bending your left knee now, take the left knee out to the side. Sitting up nice and tall. Again, you're more than welcome to fold down between the legs, or you fold down over the right leg, reaching your left hand across the foot, and just see where you are there. So Janisasana, head to knee pose. So you might find that you need to be more upright. You might find that you need to have your right knee bent, and maybe even hook the left arm underneath the right leg as you fold forward, which is a really good one to do. It's a good variation if your hamstrings are feeling tight on that right side. And then starting to come up, let your left arm go back behind you. The right arm will sweep up, forwards, and then over past the ear as you lift your hips up. Press the hips forward as you open the chest up towards the ceiling. So really lean into this stretch. So the right leg is straight and you're resting on the left knee. And then start to come out slowly. Ease your way out. As you come down to the floor, you're going to bend your left knee, take the left knee across, and then take your right elbow around the left knee. So you're twisting towards the lifted thigh, and then look over your shoulder, over your left shoulder, holding there. And then come back into the middle. Well done. Take both feet, and I'll keep on changing around, but take both feet together and then the knees wide. So holding on to your ankles, or take the hands behind you just to shuffle yourself in a little bit deeper into this. Maybe you hold on to the ankles again or the feet, but drop your shoulders as you lift your chest. So you're trying to be as upright as you can in the back. Let the knees go out to the side. Lift the chest, draw the tummy in. Just holding and breathing. And then pick the knees up, let the feet go wide. Doesn't matter how far you go, but I'd like you to have a go at a wide leg forward fold today. So you let your elbows go to the inside of the knees, hands onto the feet. You might just stay here, or you start to slide your heels forward. Just be careful as your heels come off the mat, and just careful not to slip too much. And then just leaning yourself forward. Now you can keep hold of the ankles if you find that helpful. You can have your hands forward and then press your sitting bones back as you take your chest forward. You might find that you can get some forward extension there down onto the elbows, but just see how it feels. Explore perhaps taking the legs a little bit wider, creep the legs wider, just exploring your range of motion. Chest is moving forward and you hold. So you could be knees bent, you could be hands on the floor, you could be hands behind you if it's all feeling a bit tight. There are many different ways of being. And then start to lift up, grabbing hold of the knees and pull the legs in to the center. Wrap your arms around the legs and just drop the head for a moment. Good, so the last thing we're going to do today is a twist, a reclined twist that we have done before. But again, I'm going to do it, I'm just going to demonstrate it. We're going to do a cat curl in a reclined twist. So I will just show you first. So it's just so it's clear, it makes it easier. So you're going to lie, it doesn't matter which side you're on, you lie on your side and you put your hands behind the head with the elbows forward. When you start, you do a curl. So you move your elbows towards your knees, pulling the tummy in. And then you start to do an arch. So you open the chest up, leaning your head back into the hands. Keep the arch in the back as you start to take the shoulders down to the floor and you open your chest up towards the ceiling. And then you curl in again. So we do it a few times. The last time you will hold it. Okay, so if you come onto your side, like I am, elbows are forward, so your shoulders are stacked and your hips are stacked, knees, feet, everything is stacked. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, curl in, pulling the tummy in, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone, and then arch your back, pressing the tummy forward as you lean your head back, and then open the chest up towards the ceiling, shoulder blades going down towards the floor. And then do it again. So you roll onto your side. As you're into your side, pull the tummy in, curling in, elbows towards the knees. And then you open up again, leaning back, and then open the chest up and hold there. Let's take a few breaths. So it's a slightly different back position. There's a small arching in your back. And then to come out, curl in again, roll onto your side to curl in. And then what I'd like you to do is you're just going to roll up and over. It doesn't matter if you're not facing the screen, just roll up and over onto your other side. And then you round the back, pulling in on the exhale. And then open up the upper body into an arching twist. And then go again, roll onto your side line, pull the tummy in, curling in, elbows to knees. And then arch your back, tilting the pelvis forward as you open up into that twist. And breathe into it now. Just breathe into it, trying to feel that arching in your back. And then start to lift, to come onto your side, curling in, and then you're on your back. Release the hands from behind the head, draw the knees in towards the chest, hug the knees in towards the chest, and just very softly rock from side to side. And then what I'd like you to do is to rock up to sitting. So just sitting for a moment, letting the hands rest. I hope everything feels okay, but just noticing how you feel. So cross-legged or any comfortable seated position, let the arms rest down, draw the tummy in, lifting the rib cage away from the hips in the full circumference of your core. So lifting, keep the shoulders relaxed. Just notice how you feel as you drop the chin down. So we did quite a lot of work releasing and strengthening this whole of the side line. So not just the side of the waist, it was going into the side of the hips as well today. So just notice how that felt. Taking the hands to the heart center in prayer position. Press the palms together, blink the eyes open. And then very, very slowly lifting up the gaze. Well done. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste. Well done.